Alright guys, welcome back to another draft analysis. I'm Ace, and right now I'm into the final series of the day. It's Team Liquid going up against VG Gaming. Okay, in the last series I mentioned that, in the last best of one, I mentioned that Newbie had a slightly better draft just because I felt that Bloodlust plus Empower was really scary on PE and Mirana. They had a very all-rounded draft. It might look like the early game was super strong for VP, but that's just the nature of their lineup. And all it took was one or two fights for Newbie and the whole game would have been turned around, and that was exactly what happened. So the game could have easily just ended in VP's favor if somehow Newbie made one or two mistakes and they got picked off and they lose one or two sets of Rex very quickly. But the same can be said the other way around, and all in all I just felt Newbie had a more stable draft and a safer draft. Yeah, so anyway, without further ado, let's go on to the upper bracket finals between Liquid and VG Gaming. This is the only best of 3 series we have today. And Liquid have first pick, they ban away Wyvern, Undying as well as Magnus. Okay, so this Magnus is targeted towards 11, he's one of his best hero. Undying is a hero that Lanham really likes to pick it, and it seemed to be gaining a lot of more a lot of people are starting to pick this hero or prioritizing this hero in terms of the bans and picks. And the Wyvern is just one of the best heroes, one of the best position 5 hero right now. So very standard bans throughout. VG Gaming on the other hand, they banned IO, Beastmaster as well as Bane. Also pretty straightforward. Recently we see Liquid not really prioritizing GH Kotal anymore ever since VP were able to take a game off their Kotal, then it didn't look as scary anymore. And yeah, so with the first pick, Liquid go for the Rubik. This Rubik pick is most likely going to be GH, but it's still a very flexible pick because Koroki and GH both place it. And yeah, okay, I was just about to say that. So this is going to be Koroki's Rubik, and the Earth is going to be GH. So yeah, Rubik opening very strong because both their supports can play it at a very high level. And VG Gaming, they go back for the Ogre Magi as well as the Brewmaster. Ogre is another hero that Lanham really prioritized. Every time he doesn't get Undying, he'll go for the Ogre. This has been the way he's been drafting throughout the whole tournament. And yeah, it's just the way how VP played. They just pick this Ogre, dominate the lanes, and then during the team fights in the mid to late game, he just uses himself as a mid tanking as well as a Bloodlust machine. And VG Gaming, they go for this Brewmaster, which has been a very strong pick in this Dota Pit tournament throughout. So far, every time I see a team picks this, they always dominate the mid game just because of how strong this hero is in the mid game with his ultimate. Every time they are either forced to burst him down as quickly as possible, or they have to just deal with his ultimate one way or another, which is always very tough. And the mid game is so important in this meta that having a Brewmaster to help you fight during the mid game has been very strong recently if you watch all the games with Brewmaster. So yeah, it's a very strong pick here, and it's probably going to be off lane. He's a very strong off laner as well. He has the Drunken Brawler as well as the Drunken Haze. And 11 has been playing exceptionally well this tournament, so I'm very excited to see the performance he's going to put up here. Another thing we have to take note is Mirana, which has been a very strong priority pick, is completely left untouched in the first phase. And in the second phase, VG bans away Puck as well as Anti-Mage. The Anti-Mage is targeted towards Miracle, and I think Puck is just more of a targeted ban towards Mind Control. It's not really his classic hero or anything. It's probably good against Brew because of the silence, and like you don't want to get. They already have Earth Spirit on the silence and a Rubik instant lift, so they have already the tools to deal with this Brewmaster, preventing him from getting out his ultimate. So if you add a Puck on top of that with like the added silence, and also because VG Gaming's lineup currently, they have nothing much to do with elusive Puck, so maybe they just don't want to have to deal with this hero. And the Anti-Mage as well, a very elusive and very strong late game carry right now. Liquid on the other hand, they target the 2 mid heroes for Ori. They ban away DP, which is a Chinese classic mid hero, and the OD. OD is a hero I think we saw VG Gaming playing yesterday. I think it was a very situational pick for VG in that game, but Team Liquid felt like it was a threat and decided to ban it away. Okay, so moving into the second phase, VG Gaming, they probably pick something for Fenrir. No, they go for the Mirana. So I mentioned that it's being left untouched, and both Paparazzi as well as Ori can play this hero, which makes it a somewhat open core pick, and is a very strong hero now. With the triple leap, it's pretty imbalanced, I would say. His scaling to the late game is very strong as well. Liquid on the other hand, they have already both supports. They can possibly pick up the carry here for Matumbaman because they already know the Brewmaster is the offlane. They are considering not picking up the Viper just because Brewmaster is one of the better laners against Viper, and they usually use the Viper to be played on Matumbaman to dominate lanes. I think that's one of the reasons why they are not picking up the Viper here. They have been prioritizing their hero throughout this tournament, but here they are actually not picking up yet. I think they're just trying to be unpredictable. So yes, they didn't go for it. They go for the Queen of Pain on Miracle. It's a good matchup against the Mirana in the mid lane. We can't say a lot about that in the past. Like Queen of Pain, now he's poisoned. I think he goes through sleep, so you can't leap out of, you can't dodge the poison strike with the dagger with leap anymore. And it's known to be one of the stronger laners against Mirana. So yeah, a very strong pick here. Since you already know the mid laner that you're up against, you can go ahead and pick up your own mid lane hero. You almost don't see Liquid picking up Miracle's hero so early though. And straight away, VG Gaming decided to swap it out and they picked the Dragon Knight here. So they don't want the Mirana to go up against the Queen of Pain in the mid lane. DK is a hero that can definitely hold its own against the Queen of Pain. His Dragon's Blood regen is more than enough to sustain the damage and the harassment from a Queen of Pain. So right now they can switch this Mirana either to a position 4 roaming or a carry for Paparazzi, depending on how the draft of Liquid unfolds. Because VG Gaming have the last pick, they can always change and play around with their last pick depending on what they feel is more necessary. Although we don't really see position 4 Mirana much anymore, or almost like never except for once or twice, this is still a possibility for VG Gaming for sure. Okay, Liquid here, I would think they'll go for something mind control that can start a fight. Maybe the Doom. Doom is very good against Brewmaster, strong laner as well. But usually when your opponent has already tri-core, Doom doesn't really work that effectively, because if you Doom one, the other two will just be doing a lot in the fights. It's usually very strong against a team with 1 or at most 1.5 core. Another option they can go for is the Necrophos. We haven't been seeing much. Necrophos has been nerfed, but Necrophos is also a very good hero against Brewmaster as well as Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight has a very high hero pool, so Reaper Scythe actually does more damage in a way. Like the moment he reaches below a certain percentage, you can just burst him down. Instead, they go for the Timbersaw. This Timbersaw can still be a carry position on Matumbaman or offlane position on Mind Control. I think it's more likely going to be on the offlane, but I feel that they lack some kind of fight starter or like initiator on their lineup. So if they agree and they feel like it's the case, they might pick some sort of team fighting hero on Mind Control like a Sand King. But if they think they're fine with this, they can pick a carry on Matumbaman that has stun, maybe like a Savan. So it depends on how they want to proceed from here. Timbersaw is a very strong pick against Brewmaster, firstly in the lane, which is making me leaning it towards a carry Timbersaw, and also it's very strong against Dragon Knight in the team fights. Dragon Knight is a strength hero, Ogre is a strength hero, so Timbersaw can actually do a lot of damage against these heroes. The only downside about Timbersaw is Mirana is actually quite strong against him, especially once he gets Diffusal. That being said, the changes to Diffusal, I think we have been seeing less and less Diffusal blades on Mirana now. So I'm not sure if Paparazzi is going to get it this game. VG Gaming, they ban away Nature's Prophet. expecting this Timbersaw to be Matumberman, just because of the very good Timbersaw versus Brewmaster matchup. And Liquid, they ban away Nyx. Nyx is a very strong position 4 hero against Queen of Pain as well as Timbersaw. Like, when the Nyx goes to the mid lane to harass a Queen of Pain with mana burn, it's actually super irritating and it does a lot of damage. And Spike Carapace is a very good tool to deal with Timbersaw in the fights. You can almost guarantee a stun on him because all his spells are AoE. And Liquid, they actually go back for this Lone Druid, so it's a bit, their lineup might be a bit greedy, and they will still try. I think they will still try to put the Timbersaw up against the Brewmaster. And even if it's the Lone Druid up against Brewmaster, I think they are okay with it, because when you have Brewmaster is strong because of his single target Drunken Haze, and Lone Druid can last hit with either his bear or his hero. So if one of them is being Drunken Haze, then he can just last hit with the other one. So I guess it's that's one of the reasons why they picked it here. And if they can get a 1v1 matchup of Timbersaw against Brewmaster, then it's all the more even better for them. So it's going to be a paparazzi safe lane Miranda and the last pick Phoenix for Fenrir to cap out VG Gaming Straff. I don't really like this last pick Phoenix in a way, because Liquid has very good tools to deal with him. They have the Queen of Pain that can blink to the side and just right click it. They have a Lone Druid who has very high attack speed that can deal with it, as well as they can even have Savage Roar to push away other heroes while they deal with the egg. And Timbersaw, he's even okay with being in the middle of a fight, so he can also right click the egg down. So I think VG has to like play around this egg very well to be able to get it off. They can definitely use egg and Brewmaster ultimate together to try to create the Brewmaster's ultimate can try to create a space for this egg to get off his to get the full impact of this Phoenix egg ultimate. But that being said, you still have the silence from Earth Spirit to be careful of, and Rubrik's instant leave as well. So yeah, it's all in all not going to be the easiest Phoenix game in my opinion. Okay, so first of all, you look at the late game potential. I think Liquid's late game potential is very, very strong. They have Lone Druid, Timbersaw as well as Queen of Pain, 3 very strong cores that can scale well to the late. And then you have to look at VG, whether they are able to punish this greedy lineup of Liquid. And then I look at the Dragon Knight, Brewmaster as well as Mirana, Ogre and Phoenix. So in a way, yes, their laning is really strong. They have the Ogre, and if they can avoid the Brewmaster versus Timbersaw matchup, they might be able to do well in the lanes. But that being said, I don't see the possibility of them finishing the game and shutting down Liquid's farm in any way. They don't really have an initiator. Their initiation is probably Brewmaster blinking in, clapping, and then ultimate. But apart from that, means if that's the case, they're gonna take a full-on fight. But Liquid is not gonna want a full-on fight. They're just going to sacrifice 1 or 2 heroes here and there and farm on the rest of their heroes. And only if they think they can fight, then they will come together and fight as 5. But so like, if VG is going to waste a lot of effort just to try to take 1 or 2 kills while the other cores of Liquid are farming, then I don't think it's going to work well for Liquid in the long run. So yeah, I'm definitely going to favor Liquid in this Straff. Alright, that's all for Game 1 Straff analysis. Thanks for watching. Bye.